Hello everyone, welcome to this lecture series on Introduction to Molecular Quantum Mechanics. In the last lecture, we were discussing about molecular orbital theory. We started with the hydrogen molecular ion and we derived the expression for average energy for the psi plus state of the molecular orbital. Okay. So in this lecture I am going to continue the discussion of hydrogen molecular ion, but here I am going to utilize another method called variation method. Okay, see what is that? So in the last class we derived the expression for average energy for the psi plus state and we obtained this result. Okay, and I have told you since J and K are both negative, therefore the average energy of the psi plus state of hydrogen molecular ion will be less than the hydrogen atom for larger R values. Okay, as R value decreases, initially the average energy starts to decrease, reaches a minimum. When R decreases further and further and further, then the average energy starts to increase. Okay, so we will get a graph like this, right? In the last class also I gave this. So we will get a graph like this. This is energy axis and this is the internuclear distance. Okay, as internuclear distance decreases, the average energy of this state decreases first and then starts to increase. Okay, in a similar manner we can derive the expression for the average energy of psi minus state. This is the expression for psi minus state. I am not going to derive this because we know the method to derive, so I will just leave it to you. You just try and check whether this expression is correct or not. Okay, as per this expression, see here K is negative, negative and negative become positive, and this if you compare the magnitude of J and K for any given R value, the magnitude of J and K for any given R value internuclear distance, always the magnitude of K is larger. Therefore J minus K, right, will be positive. This become positive term. So since this is a positive term, okay, the energy of the average energy of the psi minus state will be always greater than the energy of the individual hydrogen atom. Okay, so here as R decreases, the average energy keeps on increases. So for psi minus state we will get a graph, okay, which appears something like this. It keeps on increases. Okay, so this is the result we obtain, okay, in the derivation of the average energy. But if you observe this carefully, we started with the assumption that C1 square and C2 square are equal. I told you that the functions psi 1s a, I'm sorry, phi 1s a and phi 1s b, both the atomic orbitals, okay, contribute equally in the molecular orbital wave function. I told you like that. So by taking that assumption, okay, we got these two results, possible results, that is C1 equal to plus C2, C1 equal to minus C2. So by keeping this optimal values of C1 and C2, we derived these expressions. Okay, now what we are going to do for the same hydrogen molecular ion, okay, I am going to apply variation method. Okay, and I am going to show that in variation method also we are going to get the same result. Okay, because variation method leads to the same coefficients, the relation between the same between the coefficients. Okay, yeah. Now we'll start with the variation method of finding the average energy of the molecule. Okay, molecular ion H2 plus. Now in variation method we know very well what are the steps we should follow. So for in variation method, first we should guess a trial wave function. Okay, and I have told you in the case of molecular orbitals, okay, molecular orbital theory, the wave function should be given using the approximation called linear combination of atomic orbitals. Okay, so here I have given the trial wave function for hydrogen molecular ion, okay, which has two atomic orbitals, Phi1sA, that is 1s orbital associated with the hydrogen atom, the nucleus A, and 1s orbital associated with the nucleus B. Okay, I will take the linear combination of these two and will form the trial wave function. Okay, and the coefficients C1 and C2, right, we are not going to assume any values here. Okay, let the C1 and C2 are some coefficients. We will determine these coefficients using this variation method here. Okay, yeah. Now, so here C1 and C2 are some coefficients. Okay, now we know very well how to calculate the average energy. The expression for average energy is psi star, right? Psi star H operator psi d tau integral psi star H psi d tau divided by integral psi star psi d tau. This is the expression for the average energy. Okay, substitute in the place of psi star MO, you substitute this function here and we get this result. Okay, here the star does not produce any effect here because the 1s orbital of hydrogen atom does not contain imaginary part. So keeping this star is immaterial. You need not worry about that. Okay, now, and what is the electronic Hamiltonian for hydrogen molecular ion? Hydrogen molecular ion has one electron, so the kinetic energy of the electron is given here. Then the attraction between the electron and the nucleus A, attraction between the electron and the nucleus B, then the repulsion between the two nucleus A and B. Okay, so we have these terms in the electronic Hamiltonian. Substitute this electronic Hamiltonian here, okay, and bring this term to the left hand side. Then differentiate E with respect to C1 and then with respect to C2. Then put the value of dou E by dou C1 and dou E by dou C2 as 0. You will get two secular equations. Okay, as we are already familiar with those derivations. Okay, so I don't want to show all the steps here. Okay, so I have given the secular equation directly, right? What is this HAA, right, and HAB? I'll show here. Yeah, this is the integral HAA. HAA equal to integral Phi1sA, the electronic Hamiltonian, and Phi1sA d tau. Okay, HAA, Phi1sA. And the value of this integral, okay, we determined the value of this integral in the previous lecture. So I have given the result here directly. Okay, because already we have discussed this, so we don't want to waste time here. Okay, so this is the result of this integral. And what about HAB? Phi1sA electronic Hamiltonian, Phi1sB d tau, and value of this integral also we determined in the last lecture, and this is the result. Okay, so now we know the value of HAA as well as HAB. HAA involves the Coulomb integral J and HAB involves the exchange integral and the overlap integral S. Okay, now listen. So now you know what is HAA, what is HAB and all. Substitute, listen, you know very well these two secular equations, they are linear equations. By using the method of linear algebra, we can convert this into matrices. Okay, but to get the non-trivial solution, right, we have to proceed in this way. Okay, yeah. So those steps also you know, right? I like to avoid all those simple steps. Okay, and this is the final expression, final determinant we'll get. Okay, if this determinant is 0, then we'll get non-trivial solutions for C1 and the C2. Okay, yeah. Now how to simplify the determinant? Cross multiply these two and cross multiply these two. Before multiplication, remember what is HAA? HAA is nothing but energy of the electron when the electron is forced to occupy the 1s orbital of nucleus A in the hydrogen molecular ion. See, in the hydrogen molecular ion, if the electron is completely occupy the 1s orbital of nucleus A, then the energy obtained is HAA. Okay, and what is HBB? When the electron is forced to occupy the 1s orbital of nucleus B, right? Then you will get the energy as HBB. Okay, so they are actually Coulombic energies of the electron associated with the 1s orbital of hydrogen atom A and 1s orbital of hydrogen atom B. Okay, since they are hydrogen atoms, so HAA and HBB value is supposed to be equal. Similarly, HAB and HBA also must be equal. So HAA equal to HBB, HAB equal to HBA, right? And SAB and SBA, they represent one and the same. I will take this value as S. Okay, so by substituting these values here, we will get HAA minus E. Okay, here I will put HAB minus G into S. In the place of HBA, I will put HAB itself, because you know very well these two are same, minus ES, then HAA minus E. Okay, in the place of HBB, I will put HAA itself. Okay, now simplify this determinant, you will get this equation. Then bring this term to the right hand side, and if you take the square root, we'll get HAA minus E equal to plus or minus HAB minus ES. Okay, now since we have plus or minus, we have two possible solutions. So the positive solution is given here and the negative solution is given here. Okay, so if I take the positive solution, HAA minus E equal to plus HAB minus ES, bring this minus E to the right hand side, it will become plus E, and bring this plus HAB to the left hand side, it will become minus HAB. So you'll get E, here you will get plus E minus ES, take ES common, you will get 1 minus S. So E is equal to HAA minus HAB by 1 minus S. Okay, so between HAA and HAB we have minus sign here, so I will put this as minus state. Okay, and I am going to show that this is an anti-bonding state, okay, for the hydrogen molecular ion. Similarly, if you take the negative solution, okay, negative part of the solution, I will get the expression for E plus equal to HAA plus HAB by 1 plus S. See, I am denoting this with a positive sign because we have plus here. In between HAA and HAB we have plus sign, so I will put this as plus, and I am going to show you that E plus corresponds to the bonding state of the hydrogen molecular ion, and E minus corresponds to the anti-bonding state of the hydrogen molecular ion. Okay, are you clear? And this is very, very important. HAA involves Coulomb integral, HAB involves exchange integral. Okay, so you should be very careful here. Then this is I have given already. Now listen, this HAA involves Coulomb integral, I told you, and HAB involves the exchange integral as well as the overlap integral. Listen, these integrals can be evaluated using some special methods. I am not going to discuss those methods here. I have given the values directly. Okay, see the integrals, overlap integral S, which is which depends on the internuclear distance R. Similarly, the Coulomb integral, which also depends on the internuclear distance R. K also, the exchange integral also depends on the internuclear distance R. It also depends on the overlap integral S. Okay, now by substituting these integrals, okay, in the integral HAA and HAB, right, we will get these results. This is the final result. So HAA depends on R. Okay, suppose if R is very, very large, say R is infinite. If I put R is infinite, e power minus infinity is 0. Therefore, the entire term becomes 0. Then HAA is equal to minus 1 by 2 atomic units. You know very well, HAA, if energy is minus 1 by 2, that corresponds to hydrogen atom. So when internuclear distance is very large, that means when hydrogen atom and H plus ion, if they are too far away, okay, when there is no interaction between these two, then the energy of the system, okay, is equal to the energy of the hydrogen atom. Okay, as R decreases, then this value starts to increase, slightly increase. Therefore, the HAA starts to decrease. Similarly, when R is very large, say infinite, when R is infinite, then the overlap integral becomes 0. Okay, there is no overlap between the two orbital. Therefore, this part becomes 0, this part becomes 0, and when R is infinite, automatically this delta also becomes 0. Okay, so HAB becomes 0 when R is very, very large. Then as R decreases, then HAB value, right, starts to decreases. Okay, okay. So what I like to say here is both HAA and HAB become negative as R decreases. Okay, then. And if you substitute this HAA value and HAB value, okay, in the expression of energy E plus, okay, and E minus, we get this result. Okay, we will get this result. I don't want to show the expressions, the derivations and all. You just try. It is very simple actually. So you can easily get the result of this, right? Then cancel this 1 pluses, 1 pluses, and here 1 pluses, 1 pluses get cancelled, and we'll get the expression for E plus state as this. Okay. Now listen. If you look this expression is exactly similar that we obtained in the previous method. In the previous method, what we did, we assumed the value of C1 and C2, right? We assumed that the two orbitals contributing equally, and based on that assumption, we derived the expression for the average energy. This is actually E plus, this is actually E minus. The E plus expression and E minus expression are exactly same. See here, they are exactly same. Are you able to understand? It should be same actually, right? Yeah. So this is the result of the variation method. Now, to find the coefficients C1 and C2, take any one of the secular equation, and in the place of energy, you put the expression for E plus or E minus. If you put the expression for E plus, you will get the relation between C1 and C2 for the E plus state. Okay, if you put E minus, you will get the relation between C1 and C2 for the E minus state. Very simple. So keep this C1 as such, HAA as such, minus, in the place of E, first I will put E plus. This is the expression for E plus. Similarly, you put the expression for E plus here. Then if you simplify this, okay, finally you will end up with this answer. So for E plus state, the coefficients C1 and C2 are equal. Okay. Similarly, if you put E minus, right, in the place of E in the secular equation, we obtain this result, C1 equal to C minus C2. Okay, we will obtain this result, C1 equal to minus C2. That is the relation between the two coefficients for the E minus state. Are you clear? Listen, this is what we assumed in the previous method. Okay, so in the previous method, before deriving E plus and E minus, we assumed that C1 should be equal to plus C2 for one state and C1 should be equal to minus C2 for other state. But in variation method, we derived the expression for energy and we substitute the energy of E plus and E minus in secular equation, and we determine how the coefficients are related to one another. Okay, yeah. So for E plus state, C1 should be equal to C2. For E minus state, C1 should be equal to minus C2. Okay, now we can write the expression for the wave function for psi plus state and minus state. So psi plus equal to, since C1 and C2 are equal, okay, you have to put C1 here as well as C1 here and take the C1 as common. Then the wave functions should be normalized. If you normalize, you will get this result. How to normalize? Yeah, in the last lecture, okay, we discussed about the method of normalizing these type of wave functions, and we get this result, okay, after normalization. Okay, so this is the wave function corresponds to psi plus state, and this is the wave function corresponds to psi minus state of the system. Okay, then. So this is the wave function for psi plus state, and this is the wave function for psi minus state of hydrogen molecular ion. Okay, then. So this is the expression for E plus and this is the expression for E minus, and I have told you both HAA and HAB both are negative values. Okay, so and the magnitude of HAB will be very large when R is very small. So as R decreases, this magnitude become larger. So since these both are negative, okay, this here as R decreases, E plus state, the energy of E plus state starts to decrease and reaches a minimum. Okay, after that it will increase. But in this case, as the magnitude of HAB is larger, right, compared to the magnitude of HAE, so negative of negative become positive. Therefore here the energy will be positive, and as R decreases, the energy increases in the case of E minus state. Okay, so I'll show you that first. Listen, so if I plot E plus state and E minus energy for various values of R, so here I'm plotting the internuclear distance R, so this is R, capital R. When R is very large, the energy is actually equal to the hydrogen atom. Okay, energy of the hydrogen atom. I have taken energy of the hydrogen atom as 0 here just for reference. Now as R decreases, the E plus state, energy of the E plus state starts to decrease and reaches a minimum. Then the further decrease in internuclear distance increases the energy of the system. So the energy increases and goes like that. Okay, if you take E minus state, for E minus state energy is positive already. Okay, as R decreases, right, the energy keeps on increases and it goes like this. Okay, so this is the internuclear distance and this is the energy. So E plus state energy decreases and reaches a minimum. E minus state keep on increases. Okay, so at any given R value, the energy of the E plus state will be less. Okay, and the energy of the E minus state is high. Okay, so E plus state corresponds to the bonding state. Okay, and at the minimum energy, we say that equilibrium geometry exists here. Okay, so at the equilibrium geometry, the bond length or the internuclear distance is 1.32 angstrom units, and the equilibrium dissociation energy is 1.77 electron volt. These two are the calculated values, okay, using molecular orbital theory. But what about the experimental results? The experimental result of bond length is 1.06. It is not 1.32. Okay, and if you compare the equilibrium dissociation energy for experimental value is 2.77. It's very high. So it means, okay, we have to change the trial wave function and we have to do the calculation to reach this experimental values. Okay, I told you in the LCO, linear combination atomic orbitals, okay, by choosing proper basis function, okay, we can arrive at a better trial wave function. Using a better trial wave function, okay, we can approach the experimental values, right, using this calculation methods, right. Then now, so at the equilibrium distance, okay, at the equilibrium geometry, right, this is the energy of the bonding state, E plus state, and this is the energy of the E minus state. I have told you HAA and HABB, okay, these two are the energy of the electron, right, energy of the electronic energy when electron is forced to occupy 1s orbital of A, and this is the energy when the electron is forced to occupy the 1s orbital of hydrogen atom B. Are you able to understand? And since they are hydrogen atoms, okay, the energy is supposed to be same. Okay, when it form hydrogen molecular ion, then the energy of, okay, you will get the E plus state and E minus state, and the energy of the E plus state is this, the energy of the E minus state is this. We call this state as bonding molecular orbital and this state as anti-bonding molecular orbital state. Okay, and hydrogen molecular ion has 1 electron, therefore that 1 electron will occupy here, okay, and since it has only one electron, so it should be paramagnetic, and the energy of the electronic energy of the system is this. This is the electronic energy for hydrogen molecular ion. Okay, then. Okay, now we'll discuss the wave functions of the psi plus state and psi minus state and the corresponding electron density plot or probability plot. Okay, for psi plus state, phi 1s A and phi 1s B both are positive. See here, for psi plus, okay, for psi plus state, phi 1s A and phi 1s B both are positive, whereas in the case of psi minus state, phi 1s A is positive and phi 1s B is negative. Okay, keep this in your mind. Now listen. So for psi plus state, phi 1s A, phi 1s B both are positive, say they are in phase. When these two wave functions combine, you will get a new wave function like this. Okay, this is the wave function plot for psi plus state. Okay, this is the wave function plot, wave function for psi plus state. Okay, then if you take psi minus state, okay, for psi minus state, phi 1s A is positive and phi 1s B is negative. When these two wave functions combine, you will get a new wave function. Psi minus wave function appears like this for psi minus state. Are you clear? Now if I draw the probability plot, then the probability plot for psi plus state will appear like this. So this is the probability plot. This probability plot shows that, okay, between the two nuclei, see here inside we have one nucleus, here inside we have one nucleus. This is electron cloud. So inside the electron cloud we have the nucleus A and the nucleus B. Okay, this can be A or that can be B, anyone. Now between the two nuclei we have some electron density. See there? Okay, some electron density exists between the two nuclei. This corresponds to the bonding state. So psi plus corresponds to the bonding state of the system. Okay, then what about psi minus state? See, in psi minus state, between the two nuclei, okay, there is an a nodal plane exists. Between the two nuclei there is a nodal plane. You know what is nodal plane? Nodal plane is a plane where the electron density, right, is 0, right? When the nodal plane passes through the molecule where electron density is 0. So between the two nuclei electron density is 0. That means this state corresponds to an anti-bonding state. Are you able to understand? And since it has a nodal plane, okay, energy of this state should be greater compared to this. So psi plus corresponds to lower energy state and psi minus corresponds to the higher energy state of the system. Okay, then I like to give some more information. So see here, this is the 1s orbital of the nucleus A and this is the 1s orbital of nucleus B. Right, in the psi plus state both are positive. When both wave functions are positive and when they combine, okay, when they combine, you will get the bonding molecular orbital like this. So now between the two nuclei we have some electron density. Therefore this is the bonding state of the molecule hydrogen H2 plus. Okay, now see, since we have positive sign, okay, everywhere, right, suppose if I take a point here, okay, and this is the center point of the molecule, center point, and if you take another point exactly the opposite side in equal distance, okay, listen, the if you interchange these two, inversion, if you carry out inversion, right, inversion does not change the sign of the wave function. Why? Because the entire molecular orbital is positive now. So sign of the wave function does not change. Therefore this orbital is symmetric with respect to center of inversion. Okay, are you clear? Suppose if I take a point here and exactly another point exactly opposite to the center with the same distance, then if you do inversion, okay, inversion, right, never changes the sign of the wave function because the entire molecular orbital has the same sign positive. Are you able to understand? Therefore we can say that this molecular orbital is symmetric with respect to center of inversion. Therefore you can call this molecular orbital as Gerard molecular orbital. Okay, so instead of representing this as psi plus MO, I can simply say it is psi g. What is psi g? Psi g is the Gerard state of the system. So the ground state molecular orbital is Gerard. Okay, and listen, along the internuclear axis, right? If you see the electron cloud, the electron cloud will appear like a cylinder. So it has a cylindrical symmetry, right? Whenever the electron cloud appear in a cylindrical manner, we call that orbital as sigma orbital. Okay, so this is corresponds to sigma orbital, and since it is Gerard symmetry, we can represent this molecular orbital as sigma g, and for 1s orbital. Okay, similarly here, if you take psi minus state, the 1s A as positive sign and 1s B as negative sign, when these two combine, you will get a molecular orbital cloud like this, electron density like this. Now if you take the center point, and if you take a point here and exactly another point here, and if you do inversion, the sign will change. So this orbital, right, is antisymmetric with respect to the inversion operation. Therefore this orbital is considered as Ungerad symmetry orbital. Ungerad symmetry. Okay, and here also along the internuclear distance we have cylindrical symmetry, so it is also represented as sigma, and it is called sigma u orbital. Okay, and since it has higher energy, it is called anti-bonding, so I'll put star here. So sigma star u, this is the anti-bonding molecular orbital. Are you clear? Yeah. So this is ground state bonding molecular orbital, and this is the anti-bonding molecular orbital, right? So when two 1s orbital combine, okay, you will get sigma g 1s and sigma u star 1s orbitals. Okay, you will get two molecular orbital, and sigma g 1s corresponds to the bonding molecular orbital or ground state molecular orbital. Sigma u star 1s corresponds to anti-bonding molecular orbital for some excited state. So this is the complete picture of hydrogen molecular ion. In this lecture, I have given the variation method, treatment of hydrogen molecular ion, and how to apply variation method to molecular orbital theory. Okay, and how to derive the expressions for the energy and the wave functions. Okay, I stopped here. In the next lecture, we will discuss the wave functions and energy for the hydrogen molecule. Okay, yeah, I stop here. Thank you.